Alright, I got a couple more systems to solve with you. Now, to be honest, when you have a 2x2 system, 2 equations and 2 unknowns, often it's not too bad just to solve them by substitution or elimination. This one's perfectly set up to do a substitution method, and we could solve it reasonably quick. But we're practicing the matrix method. Now there is a problem right now. The matrix method requires the equations to be in standard form, and this one is not ready. It's not in standard form. X's and Y's need to be on one side and the answers on the other. So that means I need to minus 3x on both sides, and it's very crowded here, so I'm going to move that equation down below. Minus 3x. The y is positive, and 9 is positive. So I move that equation down below, and it's in standard form. So I'm going to make a matrix out of these two in there. So there's the matrix. Now I'm going to plug that into the calculator and solve this by the calculator. So I'm going to second x to the negative 1 power. That activates the matrix menu. And I'm going to A. It's already got some things in it from the old matrix, but now I'm going over to edit, and I'm going to enter, and I'm going to have to type in the size. Well, fortunately this matrix is already 2x3, so I can reuse the size from my old one. But all these old numbers I don't want in there. So I'm going to enter, and I'm going to retype in the new numbers. 5, enter, -2, -16, enter, -3, enter, 1, enter, 9, enter. Double check all the numbers. 5, -3, -2. Okay, so we got the matrix in there correctly. So I'm going to quit the editing mode. So I go second mode to quit. So I'm going to second matrix. And I need to tell it to do the ref command, and that's under the math menu. And I'm going to arrow down until I find it. And remember, it's an item B. Enter. That puts it on the home screen. And I'm going to go to second matrix and tell it, okay, load in matrix A. Close the parenthesis, hit enter. Now, on tests, paperwork, I want you to always write the system. I want you to write the matrix. I want you to write the ref matrix, which in this case, so this is what showing your work looks like. And then lastly, explain the solution. Well, this means 1x, no y's, is -2. So x equals -2. No y plus 1, no x, 1y equals 3. That's the meaning of that system. So the solution is the ordered pair, -2, 3. That is the solution to that system. All right, let's try another system here. This one is bigger. It's got 3 equations and 3 unknowns. We don't know what x is, and we don't know what y is, and we don't know what z is. This would be in a 3-dimensional graph. If we were trying to graph these, it would be 3 unknowns, like some of the problems we were doing in class when we were doing the concession stands. We were buying hot dogs and soda. Well, this might be hot dogs and soda and ice cream. So there's 3 different costs that we're trying to figure out. I don't know if you remember those from class, but anyways, we're going to have to turn this into an augmented matrix with 3 equations. And so the size of this one is 3 equations by 4 columns. And to solve this by mathematics with pencil and paper would be quite a long problem. And we're going to let the calculator solve this. So this process is the same. Let's go into the matrix menu. We are going to edit the matrix, but this time when I hit enter, I have to change the settings because I don't want a 2x3 anymore. I'm going to make it a 3x4. Enter, and it changes the size. But I'm going to have to retype all those old numbers and add in some new numbers here. 1. You see how this goes. I'm just going to go ahead and fill it up. There's the second row. There is the third row, and I just want to check all the numbers and make sure everything's typed in there properly. And it looks good to go. So I'm ready to quit the matrix editing. So I'm going to go second mode and get out of this. And I'm back on the home calculating screen. And I'm going to show you the shortcut. Before, I would go second, matrix, go over to the math, and then I have to scroll down. This is a pain. Okay, I don't want to do that. Here's the shortcut. I can go back into memory and grab the previous command. Now, if you have an old TI-83, you may not be able to do this, but the TI-84s and the 84 pluses, and I think even an 83 plus can go back in memory one layer, but the TI-84s can go back even further. So try it on your calculator and see if it works. Go up arrow and go up arrow again. And notice how it's highlighted the old command, but I'm going to hit enter. And it took the old command and put it back on the command line, and it's active. It's ready to calculate. But what's different now is I changed A minute ago, and it's got in memory the new 3x4 matrix. So when it sees A, it sees a 3x4. So it's ready to go. I can just hit enter and it's going to calculate. And so it was supposed to have nice answers, but I must have wrote it down wrong or typed something in wrong. But let's just call it this for a moment. What does that mean? I got some bad decimal answers, so I'm just going to have to round off. And when I write the matrix, oops, I'm going to round it off here. 3.3, 0.17, 0.56. These are approximate solutions. So I don't have the real answer. I mean, I've got exact answers, kind of. These decimals are, they're big and approximately right. These are less approximate, but I got a solution here. Now, if I had to write down this solution with two equations and two unknowns, we're used to finding an XY pair. But this problem doesn't have two unknowns. It has three unknowns. So we don't want an ordered pair, we want an ordered triple. Our solution is going to be an XYZ number. So this first one says 1x equals 3.3. And it says 1y equals 0.17. And then it says 1z equals 0.56. And what makes this work is that triangle I was mentioning. When the triangle below the diagonal is all zeros, and when the triangle above the diagonal is all zeros, then every single variable is solved all by itself with each row. So, okay, I just paused for a moment and went back, and did anybody notice my mistake? Because I found it after I looked carefully. And these matrix calculations are super simple, and the calculator is very powerful and done a ton of work for us. But we do have to still pay attention to details. It's great. I made a mistake. One tiny mistake really wrecked the solution. And it was so simple. It was -6. I didn't put that in there. So I have to go back and edit the solution. And I'm going to do that now and then recalculate. Okay, cleaned it up a little bit. And it's super simple to go back and make a slight correction, because if I had to do this with pencil and paper, it'd be a ton of work to start over. But fortunately, all I have to do is go in here, and I'm just going to go over to that 6 and make it -6. I am going to enter that and quit. I'm going to go up arrow to ref A, enter that, recalculate, and I get the much nicer answer that was supposed to come out in the first place. They don't always come out nice, but that's the power of solving with matrices. You can come up with really nasty answers, and the calculator does all the work. So the solution, it is an ordered triple. X equals 1, y equals 2, and z equals -1. There is my solution to that 3 equations and 3 unknowns. I've got one more video on my YouTube channel. I'll post that as well. But practice this. Make sure you can solve a system of 3 equations and 3 unknowns. Because honestly, this is where we're going to need the calculator. We don't really need the matrix too much for 2 by 2, but 3 by 3 definitely. So study hard. Good luck with that.